Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. This is the WINRAD Broadcasting Service, and I am Walter Hartley, bringing you the evening news on this Monday, April the 6th, 2026. We are now in the 38th day of the war with Iran, and tonight, the deadline has arrived. The president said the Strait of Hormuz must be reopened by 8 o'clock tomorrow evening Eastern Time, or the United States will strike Iran's power plants, its bridges, and its oil, all at once, in what he called Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one. Iran's answer: the strait will stay closed until Tehran is fully compensated for war damages. Behind the scenes, a 45-day ceasefire is being discussed. The president has not signed off on it. We have a great deal to tell you. We go first to Edward James Whitmore in Washington.
The president issued the threat on Sunday in language that has no precedent in modern presidential communications. Writing on his social media platform, he told Iran's leaders to open what he called the strait, using profanity, or face what he described as living in hell. He later posted a single line: Tuesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. This is the third time the president has set a deadline for the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. The first was March the 21st, a 48-hour ultimatum that was extended to 5 days. The second was March the 26th, extended by 10 days to today. Now, Tuesday evening. Each deadline has passed without the strait reopening and without the threatened strikes on energy infrastructure being carried out. Whether Tuesday will be different is the question that hangs over the world tonight. NBC News reported today that a proposal for a 45-day ceasefire is one of many things being discussed within the White House. A senior official said the president has not signed off on the idea. Axios reported that the United States, Iran, and regional mediators are discussing terms of a potential pause that could lead to a permanent end to the war. Iran's foreign ministry spokesman said Tehran has formulated its response to the ceasefire proposals presented by intermediaries, but will not engage in direct talks while the United States and Israel escalate attacks. He said negotiation is in no way compatible with ultimatum, crime, or the threat to commit war crimes. The president is scheduled to hold a news conference at 1 o'clock this afternoon on the rescue of the downed F-15 crew member, and the White House has not ruled out additional announcements. Iran's embassies around the world responded to the president's language with what observers described as pointed sarcasm. Iran's embassy in South Africa posted on social media suggesting the United States seriously consider the 25th Amendment, Section 4, the constitutional provision that allows the vice president and a majority of the cabinet to declare the president unfit for office. Iran's parliament speaker, Ghalibaf, accused the president of pushing the United States toward a living hell and warned the region could burn.
Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. We go now to Theodore Charles Bennett overseas.
The war did not pause for the deadline. United States and Israeli strikes continued across Iran today. At least 34 people were killed in the past 24 hours, including at least 6 children, according to Iranian state media. American and Israeli jets struck Iran's petrochemical industry, steel plants, and other infrastructure. Iran confirmed the killing of Majid Khadami, the intelligence chief of the Revolutionary Guard Corps, in a targeted strike. Israel's defense minister said Israel would continue to hunt down Iran's leaders one by one, and threatened to destroy Iran's national infrastructure if Iranian missile fire on Israeli civilians continues. As Israel burns through its stockpile of interceptors, it has announced plans to accelerate production of missile defense systems. In the Gulf, 2 liquefied natural gas vessels loaded at Qatar's Ras Laffan facility turned back after moving toward the Strait of Hormuz. Had they crossed, it would have been the first transit of LNG cargoes through the waterway since the war began. The vessels were signaling for China. Iran continues to hold the strait effectively closed. The diplomatic advisor to the President of the United Arab Emirates said any settlement must guarantee access through the strait, and that its security cannot be used as a bargaining chip. Qatar's Prime Minister called for a return to negotiations. Oman said it engaged with Iranian diplomats over the weekend to discuss the proposal to reopen the waterway. In Israel, search crews in the northern city of Haifa recovered 2 bodies from the rubble of a 6-story residential building destroyed by an Iranian missile. 2 people remain missing. In Lebanon, at least 11 people were killed on Sunday, including a 4-year-old girl, bringing the total since March the 2nd to more than 1,460. Some Israeli far-right lawmakers are demanding that the military draw a new security border inside Lebanon and permanently expel hundreds of thousands of Lebanese civilians who live south of the proposed line. Iran's advisor to the supreme leader, Velayati, warned that Tehran may target the Bab al-Mandeb Strait, the passage between Yemen and the Horn of Africa that connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden. An estimated 10% of global trade moves through that waterway. The Houthi rebels, who operate from Yemen and entered this war last week, are positioned to threaten it. If both choke points come under attack simultaneously, the consequences for global shipping would be without precedent. Brent crude traded near $109 a barrel today after touching $112 earlier in the session. And with that, I send it back to you, Walter.
Ladies and gentlemen, 38 days. The deadline arrives tomorrow at 8 o'clock. The president says power plant day. Iran says the strait stays closed. A 45-day ceasefire is being discussed, but has not been approved. 34 people were killed today, 6 of them children. 2 bodies pulled from rubble in Haifa. A 4-year-old girl dead in Lebanon. And 2 gas tankers headed for China turned around and went home because the strait is too dangerous to cross. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we will know whether this was another deadline that passed or the beginning of something new. Hold them close tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is Walter Hartley for the WINRAD Broadcasting Service. And now, a word from our friends at the Gradio Vintage Wireless Company. In uncertain times, there is comfort in a voice you trust coming through a speaker built to last. The Gradio Vintage Bluetooth radio brings you the warmth of Golden Age design with all the clarity of modern sound. Handsome walnut cabinet, rich full tone, connects to your telephone or any wireless device. Visit Gradio through the link in our description. The Gradio Vintage Wireless, built for the voice, built for the age. And now from the home front, here is Dorothy Wilson.
Well, good evening, ladies. I hope your Easter was everything it should have been. I hope the table was beautiful, and the family was together, and the ham was perfect. And now it is Monday, and the week is ahead of us, and we have work to do. Now, I know most of you have been so focused on the holiday, and on the news, and on the prices at the grocery store, that the house has gotten a little away from you. I understand. Mine, too. So this week, I want you to do something with me. We are going to do a pantry clean-out. Not the whole house, not the closets, not the garage, just the pantry. 1 shelf at a time, 1 day at a time, and by Friday, your kitchen will feel like a different room. Here is how we start. Tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, take everything off 1 shelf in your pantry or your cupboard. Everything. Set it all on the counter. Wipe down that shelf with a damp rag and a little vinegar. You do not need any fancy spray. Just white vinegar and water, half and half in a jar. It cleans. It disinfects. It costs about 10 cents. Now, while everything is on the counter, look at it. Really look at it. Check the dates. Anything expired goes in the garbage. Anything you bought 6 months ago and never opened. Ask yourself honestly if you are ever going to use it. If the answer is no, set it aside and give it to your church pantry or your neighbor. Do not let it sit there taking up space and making you feel guilty. Put everything back on that shelf organized. Cans together, boxes together, baking supplies together. Put the things you use most at the front where you can reach them, and the things you use less toward the back. It takes about 15 minutes per shelf, ladies. 15 minutes. Do 1 shelf tomorrow, 1 on Wednesday, 1 on Thursday. By Friday, you will know exactly what you have, exactly where it is, and exactly what you need to buy. And I promise you, you will spend less at the store this week because you will stop buying things you already own. One more thing. While you're in there, take a pencil and a piece of paper and write down what you find. Every can of beans, every box of rice, every jar of sauce you forgot about. That is your inventory. Tape it inside the cupboard door. When you use something, cross it off. When you buy something, add it. It sounds fussy, but it works. My mother kept a list like that for 40 years, and she never once bought a can of tomatoes she did not need. We are in a season where every dollar matters, ladies. You cannot control the price of gas. You cannot control what is happening overseas, but you can control what is in your cupboard, and you can make sure that not one thing in there goes to waste. That is power. That is yours. Nobody can take it from you. Good night, and God bless.